Hello guys, so let's say in addition to displaying the results on the screen, maybe you also want to save the results into a file so that later on you can just go to that file to remind yourself what the results were. Okay, so if you want to do that, it means you're going to say fstream results file, something like that. You can call it any name, okay, and then you can come here and say results file dot open, and then you can specify the path of that file. Okay, so a good thing about opening a file in order to write to it, when that file does not exist, it will be created for you. Okay, that file will be created for you. So let's say I want to open a file called results, let's say ch300 results.txt. Okay, all right, so at the moment this file is not there, so it will be automatically created. Okay, yeah, and when you call this open function, you can specify here that I am opening this file in order to display data to it, in order to write data to it. Okay, so you are opening that file in order to output some information into it. Okay, yeah, so you can do it this way, but alternatively you can even do it on one line like this. Okay, you can even do it like this. Is that okay? Yeah, all right. So once you have created that object, you can now display the data there. So the same way you did here, you can even copy this one. Okay, you can copy this one, Control C, you can come and paste it here, and then instead of cout, now you write your object, you say results file, you see, and then you come here, you say results file, you see, something like that. Okay, yeah, and then from there now you can close your file. Once you have finished working with it, you close it. Okay, you write something like this, something like that, something like that, you see. Yeah, okay, so you can compile to see to see whether the program is working. Okay, but another thing which is good is that it is good to give the user a feedback. Okay, so here for example you can tell the user that you are saving the results into a file. Okay, so here you can say saving results into, you see, into something like this. Okay, saving results to, okay, saving results to this path here. Okay, now you remember you have to escape the backslash if you want it to appear on your output. Okay, something like that. So the user will have some feedback, and once that is accomplished, you can even tell him that done. Okay, you can even tell him that done, saved, something like that. Okay, something like that. All right, so having done so, you can now try to compile. Okay, I forgot a semicolon here. Okay, all right. Okay, so compile that. So enter the file path. So our marks are in a file which is here, hpu desktop ch300.txt. So we read marks from this file, and then we display the results, but also we are telling that we are saving the results to this path here, and then done, saved successfully, you see. Yeah, so if you go to local disk D, to this folder, it means you will see, you should see this file, because even if it was not there, maybe it will have been created for you. Okay, yeah. So one thing you should know is that whenever you're trying to create an object to write to a file, if that file does not exist, it gets created for you. Okay. However, if you're creating an object in order to read from a file, if you're trying to open a file in order to read from it, or you are creating an object in order to read from a file, okay, in that particular case, if that file does not exist, it will not be created for you. Okay, it will not be created for you. So in that case, that is why here we check if the file is not there. We tell him cannot open the file, try another path. Okay, yeah. So that is what you should know. All right, so let us see, is that file created? Let us see, let us go. So we go here to local disk D, here, local disk D, and then we go to our folder. You see this folder here, C++ programs, okay, and then you see this one here, ch300 results.txt. You see it was created just now. Can you see? Yeah, 3:38 p.m. You see, so it was just created recently. Can you see that? So if I open this, you see it has our output average 60 below average where 1. You see, yeah, you can see this output here. Okay, yeah. And let's say now you want to print this file. You see, yeah, you can print. You come here, you click file, you click file, okay, and then you choose print. Okay, but here I don't have a printer. Okay, yeah, but you can actually print. Okay, so you choose print like this. Yeah, so if you don't have a printer connected to your computer, by default here in the printer part, you will see an option says Microsoft Print to PDF. Okay, so it means it will print the contents to a PDF file. You get my point? Because there is no printer connected. You see? Yeah. So if you want, you can test that. You can come here down, you can click print. You see? Yeah, and it tells you now where do you want to save your PDF file. So here, for example, I can say maybe I want to save it in the documents folder, and then you can give it okay, let me you can save it anywhere you want, for example. Okay, so if you want to save it in documents, fine, you can save it in documents. Okay, yeah, and then you can give it a name. Okay, maybe results okay, so it will be PDF. So you don't put dot PDF. Okay, just write results, just write the name. Okay, yeah, and then whatever name you want, and then click save. Yeah, so the PDF will have been created for you. Okay, so if you go to that place, so for example, me, I can go now to documents, and you see this is the PDF. If you open it, you see, yeah, it has those contents. You see, yeah, so that is very, very cool. Okay, that is very, very cool. Now you're asking yourself now, why text file? So by default, C++ works with text files. Okay, it works with text files. But if you want to work with other kinds of files like Microsoft Word files, or let's say Excel files, then you will need to search for a library, a C++ library that you can include, which will enable you to work with Excel file. Okay, or if you want to work with Microsoft Word, you will need to search for a particular C++ library that will enable you to work with that particular kind of file that you want to work with. Okay, yeah. All right, yeah. So files are very important in programming. Okay, always in your life as a programmer, you will be working with files. Okay, yeah. So for example, you can ask yourself a question. Let's say those people who created a program like CodeBlocks. Okay, when I come to CodeBlocks here, okay, and I come to settings, I click settings. Okay, and then I change the settings. Maybe I go here to editor. Okay, I go to editor, and then let's say I change the font, okay, to a different font. Okay, to a different font. Maybe I choose another font. Maybe I choose this one here, and then after choosing this, I choose another font size, and then I click OK. You see, how does CodeBlocks remember the font that I chose, so that next time when I open CodeBlocks, it should open with the same font type which I had chosen, and with the same font size which I had chosen last time. How does CodeBlocks remember? You see, so what CodeBlocks is doing internally, it is creating a file to save the settings of a user. Okay, so every time you open CodeBlocks, when it is loading there before it finally opens, that time when it is loading, what it is doing behind the scenes, it is actually creating an object to read from that settings file, so that by the time it is open, it opens with the settings that you had set the last time. You get my point? Yeah. So you will always work with files as a programmer. Okay. Files are very important. Thank you for listening. Keep coding.